All right, we're going to now drill the hose in our first project. This is our tap drill Ream countersink counterbore test block. We're going to counterbore, countersink, Ream, small tap, medium tap, large tap. So it needs to be laid out just like this. So we showed you how to lay out the block to get the center prick marks. So now what we want to do is show you how to drill the hose. The best way to line the hose up when they're in the drill press is you can basically loosen this C-clamp, and I can move my part all around until I find out right where it's going to fall, right there, and it looks good, very good right there. So now I'll loosen my C-clamp, tighten it back good and tight, take this out. It doesn't have to be chucked in, it doesn't have to be tight, but now I'm going to put my drill in. Take the drill, put it in up to the flutes like we always do. And I use my stair card to find out what size drills I need for each hoe. For the 1/4 tapped hoe in the back left, and it's best to write this on your print before you ever step out into the shop. So a 1/4 on my stair card says I'm going to drill it with the number 7 drill that's 201, 201 thousandths. Now my 3/8 is right up here. Move across to the left. I'm going to drill it with a 5/16 drill that measures out at 312 thousandths. The last one on the right that I'm getting ready to drill is a 1/2 move to the left. That's a 29/64 453 thousandths diameter drill. That's what drill I have now. So this stair card is invaluable. You need to keep that with you at all times. So let's go ahead and drill this hole here. Calculate the RPM previously, 3.82 times 90 divided by 453 thousandths. So let's set that. Okay, now it should follow our center punch mark pretty good. Now you see what I want to do is spray some coolant on it. I definitely want plenty of coolant on that thing. Let's see how I'm going to pack it. I don't want big chips, I want small chips. Now all I'm going to do is drill these things, and I'm going to show you how to tap those in the next video. Now when it's almost through, I feel it like it's breaking just about through. I'm going to slow down. Hear it make a different noise? When it's just about through, it'll make a different noise, and you actually saw it grab the drill. So that chuck is not holding tight as I had wanted it to. So now we have all the holes drilled. These front, we're going to have a counterbore, countersink, Ream, tap, tap, tap. So what we're going to do now, we're actually going to do the counterbore. So to do the counterbore, I actually need to put the drill back in it so I can line it up. So this is the drill that I used for that. I'll loosen my vise, get rid of these things I don't need. I don't want too much clutter. I'm known to have a lot of clutter around me. So I'm going to line this up just by shooting that drill right through there. Okay, so that should be technically lined up. We'll double check. Looks good. Looks very good. We'll take that out. Now we'll also line it up with the end of the pilot. This is a counterbore tool, just like this is a counterbore tool. This has a 1/2 inch pilot on it. It's just shy of a 1/2 inch, and it has 2 flutes, and we're going to take it about 200 thousandths deep, and it will go down in here, but it's going to be a pretty snug fit. So whatever we do, oil it. We had a student today that didn't oil it, and it kind of got stuck just a little bit. So sometimes we live and learn. Now let's loosen our vise a little bit. There we go. Now we tighten our vise. We're going to let our vise move to where it needs to be. And the key with counterbore, countersink, reaming, tapping, plenty of good thick oil. That oil is on that pilot. So, and we want to definitely run this thing really slow. Just like this. That's actually still a little too slow, too high, so I'm going to slow it way down. May go a little faster than that. Put a little oil on it. And I'm going to stop and double check my chuck. Sounded like it spun in the chuck just a little bit. Yes, it did. And the reason usually, there we go. Got to kind of find that sweet spot in the counterbore. So let's see how deep we are right now. And we can use a depth rule and it will be absolutely fine. We'll put it on this side. We will hopefully get her clean and go all the way down. And we are just shy of a quarter. We've got a long way to go. But we need to make sure we keep the oil on it, or that pilot will stick inside there. Okay, now let's see what we have. Hopefully we didn't go too deep. Now on other machines, we can actually set this and get it exactly where we want it. But on this particular machine, most drill presses, you're going to get what you get. You are going to get what you get. We want 200 thousandths, about 3/16. We are 1, 2. We're just a hair, probably a 30-second deeper than 200 thousandths. So we went just a hair deeper, and that's okay because it's very difficult to get the depth proper on these things, because when I go up and down, I have a dial here. I can raise the table up and down, but then it's going to swing left and right. So if we wanted a properly drilled hole here, we would definitely want to do this part on the vertical milling machine. Now let's move to the next hoe, and this hoe we're going to countersink, I think. Okay, this is our countersink tool. It is a 90-degree countersink. It'll be used for all the countersinking that we do on this machine, on this project rather. So I loosen up my vise. I'm going to spin this over, center it up on this hole right here. And you notice how it will center it up because it has 3 flutes. It will center itself up just fine. Beautiful. Now again, I want to make sure I've got enough coolant on everything I'm using. Doesn't hurt to use too much coolant. Getting a little chatter, so we definitely want to slow it down. Okay, and that looks pretty good there. That's just a typical countersink is all this is. Nothing fancy. So we have our countersink, we have our counterbore, and now we're going to ream this hoe here. We have a straight reamer and a helical reamer. They are 5/32 or 5/16 reamers, I'm sorry, 5/16 reamers. So let's go ahead and take this out and we'll ream that hoe, because when we ream, it's a little bit different procedure. The whole thing is a little bit different. Okay, now what I want to do is line this over that hole. Could do it several ways, but since the reamer has a little chamfer on it, it will pretty much line itself over that hole. And again, when we ream, we want plenty of oil. Reaming, tapping, counterboring, countersinking, plenty of oil. Oil, oil, oil. Now, see it wobbling? I'm not really concerned about that because it's going to go into the hole. through the hole and back out. Okay? Reaming, you want to run it slow with a fast feed rate. I want to feed it in and out. Never, ever, ever reverse a reamer. It will dull the teeth quickly. Okay? So that hose reamed, countersink, and counterbored. Now I'm going to do a couple of the threaded hose. All I'm going to do with those is countersink those. And then in the next lesson, as I said, we will go back and we will tap these burgers. Okay, let's see how this looks. And we might get a different one. I have several of these new countersinks. Some are pretty good. Some get abused pretty bad around here, and some are pretty good. This smaller one is better. The other one had some chipped teeth. That's why I got that chatter mark there, which is not good. Now, a lot of people say, how much chamfer do you put on a standard thread? Well, if the engineer or the draftsman or the owner of the company, if they say to put 1 pitch of thread, and that's a 90-degree angle, that means 1 pitch of thread for a 1/2 inch 20 thread from one tooth to the next is 50 thousandths. So in 1 inch you have 20 threads, so it's 50 thousandths, 100, 150, 200. So 1 pitch is distance from one thread to the next. So if this were a 1/2 20 and the engineer said he wanted 1 pitch of thread, I would bring it down until it touches, and I would either move the table up, bring the machine down 50 thousandths and stop, which is almost impossible to do on a drill press. I would use a milling machine to do that. So let's land this one up, and we'll put just a little bit of chamfer. We don't put a lot of chamfer when we're going to tap. This one has more chamfer because it's going to have a screw that drops in it with the chamfer on it. Now we'll loosen this up. We'll do the next one. And these little 3-fluted pointed chamfer tools are fantastic for finding the center. You don't have to do any locating. Just let it fall in the hole. Beautiful. Beauty. Loosen the clamp, slide it over, bring it down to the next hole, get it in there, lock it down so nothing moves, turn it on, and you notice how slow we're going? It doesn't need to go fast. So there we have it. We are done with our first project. Basically, this is what we have. On the bottom, we have the Counterbore, Countersink, Ream. Counterbore, Countersink, Ream. At the top, we're going to put a 1/4 20, a 3/8 16, and a 1/2 20 hole thread in these. Okay, so right now, anytime you thread, you always want that chamfer on there. Never ever thread anything without a chamfer on it. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to show you how to hand tap these 3 hoses. So if you have questions, as always, shoot me an email or send me a text, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.